Hello, my name is Nick. I am a 19-year-old student who recently moved into a new rented apartment independently of my parents. Every time I remember this story, my blood freezes in my veins. It all started on a rainy day in September. I was sitting in front of my computer playing League of Legends in my new apartment, even though I had a lot of homework to do from university. I remember eating bread with honey that evening. I had 2 warm-ed, slightly browned breads without butter, and spread very sweet and delicious honey. All I needed was a glass of Nesquik to be completely happy, so I texted the video game team in the general chat that I was going to leave for 2 minutes to make some milk cocoa. I entered the kitchen. First, I smelled the milk to see if it was spoiled, and when I was satisfied that there was no danger of poisoning, I poured the milk into the pot that was on the gas burner. Before the milk was boiling, I went to the window. There was eternal darkness in the street. He did not go outside at all. After a few minutes, I heard the sound of milk boiling, and because of that, I suddenly removed the yellow cap from the cocoa package. I quickly added 3 spoons of cocoa and half a spoon of sugar to the milk that I had poured from the kettle into my favorite teacup, because I love it sweet, and then I put it on the newly opened windowsill to cool down a bit. Until then, I continued to enjoy the streets of Tbilisi. A few minutes later, I saw a black silhouette of a tall man dressed in an old classical uniform, wearing an old cylinder-shaped hat on the street. It didn't look good, although it was probably more than 2 meters tall. He walked with slow steps, very strangely, and did not move his hands at all. Then he suddenly stopped and started looking towards the first floor. At that time, I was looking at him from the window of the second floor. To tell you the truth, I even felt a little scared at this point because it was so strange. Nevertheless, I did not continue to look at the man for a long time. I grabbed my already tamed cocoa and sat down at my laptop to continue my video game fun. I soon forgot all about it because we won 2 very tense rounds of video games, and I did not remember the stranger standing on the street. Soon it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't sleep. My teammate also told me that he didn't want to play anymore because he was too tired and had to go. I turned off the game soon after, but I browsed the social network for a while and watched some interesting videos before going to bed. Suddenly, my neighbor girl called me, whom I met the day I moved into this apartment, and I liked her very much that day. She lived 1 floor below me, on the first floor, and we often met each other. The girl told me in a frightened voice that there was an unknown and tall man outside who was staring at her window and smiling strangely. I told him that he was just a crazy homeless person, the likes of which we often met in this settlement. The girl told me that he was not normal. He was looking at her window with a very pale and frightening face, and when he looked at her, the stranger began to growl in an abnormal voice. I tried my best to calm the girl down, telling her that she was just an ordinary street lunatic and that she was not a threat. Then the girl told me that there was a knock on her bedroom door. The girl thought it was her mother and hung up on me for a while. As soon as I hung up, I decided to browse the social network again, and half an hour had passed without even noticing. At that time, I thought that the girl fell asleep, and that's why she didn't call me. That's why I didn't pay much attention to it and just went to sleep. The next day passed very quickly. I was lucky that the lectures started at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was not able to get up early in the morning. I decided to visit my neighbor girl in the evening since she didn't write to me all day, but then I remembered that she worked until 8 in the evening, so I immediately went home. Sitting at 20 computers, I decided to write to a girl through a social network and offer to eat pizza and watch a comedy movie together after returning from work. At this point, I noticed that 21 hours had passed since the girl had not checked her social network. It was very strange because the girl spent most of her free time scrolling through social networks. To tell you the truth, I was starting to get a little nervous, but I consoled myself with the fact that she might have had a very busy day at work and couldn't get away from the phone. 12 o'clock at night came soon. I went to the kitchen again to make mint tea instead of cocoa this time. I heard somewhere that peppermint tea helps a person to fall asleep. While the water was boiling in the teapot, I looked out the window again, and again I saw that strange and tall man still dressed in the same suit and standing in the same place. He again approached my building with slow steps and started looking in the same window. I tensed up a bit, and when he looked at me, I heard an abnormal, demonic roaring sound in my ears. Oh my God, I've never heard anything like it. I was so scared that I completely forgot about the teapot and ran to the bedroom. I was shaking with fear and my heart was beating fast. I just lay in bed and pulled the blanket up to my chin. For about 10 minutes, there was no sound around. There was complete silence. However, within 10 minutes, the silence was broken by a rude knock on my bedroom door. I sat in the corner, scared. The knocking continued for the next 15 minutes or so, and then it stopped, and I haven't heard anything since. At dawn, I fell asleep on my own, and when I woke up, I decided to forget what had happened. Since that day, I tried to return to the rhythm of normal life, but soon I learned about the terrible death of a neighbor girl. She was found in her bedroom with her veins cut and her entire room covered in blood. When I heard about her, I immediately understood who the culprit was. However, to this day, I have not heard what kind of creature it was. But I know one thing for sure. I should not look in the window late at night and cover the windows with a thick curtain. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. This will help the channel to grow and post more horror stories. May the grace of Piranha protect you.